This is the process shot. I'm Michael. I'm stuck in a movie theater, and it finally gave me a David Lynch movie. I don't know why, but I've been feeling like it was inevitable. Anyways, Wild at Heart, released in 1990, follows the romance of two youths, Sailor and Lula, who are on the run from Lula's mother after she forbids her from seeing Sailor upon his release from prison for manslaughter. In a fit of rage, she hires a hitman to have Sailor killed and Lula returned. As the two continue their spree of freedom, they come to wonder if they'll never be able to truly escape the horrors of the world and their pasts, or if one day they will be able to make that leap over the rainbow. That last bit isn't a random reference, mind you. The film makes numerous allusions to The Wizard of Oz, some visual and others through dialogue, focusing less on the aesthetics or parallels of the stories between the two films, and more upon the character archetypes and overall themes. Wild at Heart uses these ideas to bolster its story, building up its own character relationships and actions by connecting them to something more timeless. It still has a rather interesting and well-paced story, even if that pacing may seem slow or stilted to some people. I feel it adds a layer of tension to every scene, even those where characters are in a relatively safe position, simply because of the greater suspense that is happening around them. It's also able to lull the viewer into a sense of safety or comfort, only to yank the rug right out from under them. Thematically, Wild at Heart seems to reach beyond being a story of love on the run, and more of a deconstruction or re-examination of the more traditional depictions of these stories, right down to Sailor being portrayed as an imitation of Elvis Presley, even singing some of his songs. However, right out of the gate, there's a great sense of hyperviolence and bloodshed, setting the tone of the film immediately, and showing that beneath this rather clean-cut surface lies something darker and sleazier. Granted, not every scene is brutally violent, but it's a tone that persists throughout the film, further casting contrast against Sailor and Lula's optimism. This isn't to say that they aren't beguiled by tragedy or hardships, but more that because they have each other, they're able to soldier through despite the obstacles set against them. Wild at Heart is a very untraditional film, all things considered, mostly in its presentation and direction. The film's cinematography, editing, and sound design all come together in a clearly stylized way that seems to overwhelm the viewer with visual or audio information, bringing focus to certain objects or symbols at a moment's notice, repeatedly if necessary, or creating a sense of confusion for the viewer by presenting them with sights or sounds that go unexplained for them and for the film's characters. There's even a sense of magical realism in some scenes, though that's more sporadic and tends to exist more with Sailor and Lula alone, perhaps hearkening to their optimism and desire for a happy ending. Despite all the danger and sleaze of this world, the film is still, at heart, a classic journey of two characters following a path of their own desire, trying to find a new home away from the wickedness of everything else in the world. Wild at Heart, David Lynch, 1990. 4.5 stars. I recommend seeing it. It may not be your bag, but I still recommend it. That's it for this review. If you liked it, leave a like or a comment, and subscribe to the channel for more reviews. If you didn't like it, then just leave, I guess. Come back if you can figure out what people mean when they say a movie is Lynchian.